Welcome to a beginner plank Pilates workout. I'm calling this Plankituya. Let me tell you, if you learn how to do planks, this essential arm and core blaster right, you will learn the stability for years to come in all of your Pilates and functional workouts. All you need is a mat for this one. We'll be mobilizing our spine. We'll be working those arms and the core. So grab a mat and join on in. Be mindful if you have injuries, and I'll see you on the mat. Stand on your mat, or you can always stand on the floor. Bring your heels together and your toes slightly apart. Take your hands to your hips and go from your toes to the heels, to the balls, to the toes, and back and forth a few times. My heels are together and my toes are apart. I'm trying to keep them symmetrical. That's a little bit of an issue for me. And then I want you to find the spot that is in between all three. So all 10 of your toes, your balls of your feet, and the heels are all on the mat. Draw your abs in and up. Think about keeping all four corners of your feet, of both feet, on the mat as much as you can. Your knees are right over your ankles. Your hips are right over your knees. Your ribs are right over your hips. Your shoulders are right over your ribs, and your head's right in between your shoulders. We're going to start with a march. And we're going to keep that leg, those legs, in that slight turnout. You can start really low. And you want to really think about keeping that alignment, right? The crown of the head stays high. And then we can come to a Genie Arm. And 8. Left. 7. Left. How tight can you keep your abs? Can you land on all four corners of your feet? Can you keep both sides of the waist long? 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Now what about parallel? A little bit different, right? Keep reaching up through the crown of the head. Try to keep the shoulders soft. Try to keep the ribs really tight around the spine. Lift, lift, lift. For 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Now go ahead and bring your hands to your hips and just do a few hip swings here. Staying balanced as much as you can. You can always hold a chair, keeping the spine really reaching tall, keeping that alignment, ankle, knee, hip, ribs, shoulders, head. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now come on back down onto that other foot, and we'll switch to the other side. Just swinging that leg forward and back, keeping that alignment of the spine, staying tall. Just want to mobilize the hips a little bit before we move on. For 4, 3, you can always hold on to something for balance, reach the arms out or hold the hips, and 1. Now come back to your Pilates stance, your heels together and your toes apart. Keep drawing your abs in. Now this will be a little bit harder. Take one knee up, circle it, and then in. Circle it out, in. We'll just do a few. Out. Stay as tall as you can on that leg. You can always hold a chair or a stool for balance, or the wall. And 3. And 2. And 1. Now, come onto that other leg. Keep that alignment. Heels together, toes apart. Draw the abs in. Circle out. And in. Out. And in. Just starting to become a little bit more aware of the alignment. If you're keeping that stabilizing leg on the floor, and that ankle and that knee lined up above, and that hip and those shoulders and that head all in line. 4 more each way. Out. And you can always keep it really small, right? And just keep tapping, or a little harder, not touching at all. 1 more round. And out. And in. From there, let's actually stay with the heels together, toes apart, arms at your side. Try to keep the shoulders down. Keep the weight balanced. You can come back and forth a few times, toe, ball, heel. And then when you find that right little spot where you're balanced on all 4 corners of both feet, you can do a few neck tilts. Keeping the shoulders down, away from the ear, really Thinking about stretching the sides of the neck. Of course, if this bothers you, don't do it. You can keep your hands on your shoulders. We'll do about 8 more. Keep breathing, exhaling and inhaling. And 5. Really stretching the crown of my head to one side and then the other. And let's go ahead and open our feet wide now. You can turn the toes out, draw the belly in, reach the arms out, twist your waist, keep both feet rooting down into the mat. All 10 toes, all 4 corners of the feet. Think about wringing out your waist, twisting the left ribs to the right, and then center, and then twisting the right ribs to the left. Now, reach a hand for the shin as you twist, and then come back up. And then reach a hand for the other shin. Try to keep your toes pressing into the mat. You can soften your knees. These are windmills, right? And maybe a little faster. Really trying to keep the alignment of all 10 toes on the mat. Inhale and exhale. Reach, come up. Reach, come up. And you can make it a little harder, adding a little bit of a lunge. Side lunge. Trying to keep the gaze forward. And twist. Extend up. Bend and twist. Extend up. 8. And exhale and inhale. You can always stay with the straight legs. 5. Either way. 4. 3. 2. 1. From here, come on up, bring your feet together, and then come to one end of your mat. Go back to that toe ball heel, and then try to keep most of your weight in your toes. You can soften the knees. We're going to roll our spine down, drawing your belly in, and then you'll soften through your knees, and you're going to take your hands to the floor. We're going to walk out to a plank. Walk it out, 2, 3, 4. Try to get your hips in line with your shoulders. Abs are in tight. Neck is long. Gaze is forward. Try not to look up or down. Try not to arch the spine. For 4, 3, really bracing the abs around the top, spine opening through the chest. Then pike your hips back up. Send your weight back into your feet. Walk your hands back in a count of 4, 3, 2. Hold it here for just a second. Bend through your knees. Look ahead. Breathe in, and then exhale, stretch the legs. You can take your hands to your shins, it'll be a little bit easier. Just feeling the stretch in the back of your thighs. And then soften, bend the knees a little bit, start to look ahead. Draw your shoulders back, start to shift your weight forward into your toes and then into your hands. 4, 3, 2, hold that plank. You can always come to the knees to modify if that feels better. Try to keep some weight in your feet. So don't send it all into your hands. Try to spread through the fingers and spread through the collarbones. Make sure that your abs are really, really tight and your hips are about in line with that spine. And then pike back again. Shift your weight back into your feet, then shift your hands back. Bend through your knees, really, really deepening into that hip crease. And then from there, stretch your legs, draw your abs in. You can always take your hands to your shins and pull yourself forward. We're going to go back into that again. So bend through your knees and let's walk it out. Out, out, and hold, 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 and lift, and back, back, back. Bend a little bit and stretch, reach, and walk forward again. Forward, forward. Hold that nice, beautiful plank. Open through your chest. And take it back up and back, 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 and bend and stretch and forward. 4, 3, 2, hold, 2, 3, and back. 2, 3, 4, bend it, stretch it one more time, walk it forward, hold it out there, take it back up, and walk it on back. From here, bend one more time and walk back out to that plank. And then take your knees down and take your hands. Now we're going to come to our cow position. Hands are right underneath our shoulders, knees right underneath our hips, knees about hip distance apart, so parallel. And then from here, arch your back, look up, really send your tail back. And then look down, send your tail forward, and round, round, round your spine. And arch it, arch it, arch it. And round it, round it, round it. And inhale here. And exhale. Right, really spread the space in between your vertebrae here. Really draw your abs in. And then open the chest, open the collarbones. Try to keep the arms long. Try to keep weight equal between all 10 of your fingers. And one more time. And then find your neutral spine. And from here, walk your hands forward. And then send your hips forward, coming into a kneeling plank. You should feel your abs start to activate. Don't let them go. And then come back. And then again, forward, hold, and back. And then forward and hold it. Open the collarbones. See if you can stay there. Let's try some push-ups. Bend. Stretch Pilates style, so elbows in towards the body, and they don't have to be bent up. If you want to make them bigger, you can, but make sure that you're keeping your spine in long gazes forward. Arm bones are plugging into the sockets. Exhale and inhale. Belly is pulled in tight. Both sides of my waist are long for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Go ahead and take a child's pose here. Really round through your spine. Now really stretch the elbows long. Get a nice big deep stretch into those lats. And then come back forward. Slide your hands maybe a little bit forward. And then maybe try a full plank. And then see if you can come down to your elbows. Now hands can be long. They can be together. They can be gripping, interlacing, hopefully not gripping too much. And then feel that elbow plank. Draw your abs in tighter. Open your chest more. We'll hold for 10 more seconds. Weight should be in your feet and try to keep the feet even. If your feet are really wide, it'll be a little bit easier. If your feet are narrow, it'll be a little harder. For 4, 3, try not to round or arch the back. Nice neutral position. And then knees down, hips back. And we'll pull the abs in. And then come back forward. Bring your hips maybe a little bit forward. And then maybe come back into a full plank. Draw your abs in. And from here, maybe a little push-up. You can always drop down to those knees. A little one, right? So come down to the knees. Either way, from knee to shoulder, I'm in a straight line. Or from ankle to hip to shoulder, I'm in a straight line. 4, 3, 2, keep that gaze forward. 1, and go ahead, send the hips back, reach the abs in, reach the arms long, feel the stretch through the chest. Exhale here. And then let's go ahead and just open up the chest, slide your feet forward, bend your elbows, and reach the forearms to the mat. Let's start with the knees bent. Press your feet to the floor, draw your abs in, elongate through that low back. See if you can lift the hips a little and then lower, right? Really opening the chest. Lift and lift and lift, pressing equally into all 10 toes, opening through the chest. And 4, 3, 2, 1. And then go ahead and extend the legs long. Draw your abs in. A little bit more challenging. Lifting, lowering, lifting, pointing those toes. Trying to get the hips up. And 3. And drawing those abs in. And 1. From there, carefully stand up. Let's go ahead. Bend the knees if you need to, of course. Reach forward. Take a big stretch here, really pulling the belly muscles in. And then from here, we'll face sideways again. I'm going to reach my feet out. And I'm going to bend my knees and stack them On up, we're coming into the mermaid position, and I'm going to just reach that right hand. It'll be your right hand onto the mat. I'm going to take that left arm up and over, feeling that stretch, and then down. And from here, seeing if I can shift my weight over to the other side. And then just gently take that right hand down. I can bend that right arm and up. So this is your mermaid, a little bit tricky here. Really working on elongating and mobilizing the sides of our waist, playing with different sides of our hips, which makes us use the sides of our waist. And we're going to reach our feet around and then do that on the other side. So stack your knees, one on top of the other. They can kind of stagger a little bit. It'll be really hard to keep them stacked. And then left hand down, shoulders away from the ears, and just reach over for your mermaid stretch. Shoulders stay off the ears, and then coming on over to the other side. And then over, elongating the waist, opening the chest, bending at the sides, and taking it on over, and bringing it on up and back over. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, please subscribe for more. I'll be posting twice a week workouts and so much more, recipes, nutrition tips, bar workouts, Pilates workouts. Come and join me. Thanks and have a great day, my love.